Hello and welcome to another episode of AAA Wargaming. So I've got to actually open with an apology and a good spot by Ben Dunford. I cheated against Rory. We've spoken about it. Luckily, the caveat is that I've only I would have dropped 1 to 2 to my score, which didn't change the capping we gave to Team Wales. So that is a good thing. But here's the thing. So if you do a post-combat pivot, you may charge. You can't do a post-combat reform. So I changed my formation. So because I changed my formation, technically I'm disrupted and therefore I can't charge. So that was the bit I cheated at. So what I shouldn't have been able to do was charge those uh, Chaos Knights, Sloth Knights. What I'd have had to have done is sacrifice my Shamanism Wizard probably. So I think I would have saved my Wizards, saved my Arch unit, but I wouldn't have got the points or half points for that unit. And so yeah, there would definitely be a big point there. So so let this be a lesson to you people. Post-combat reforms are not allowed if you want to charge afterwards. You've got to do a post-combat pivot, which is a different thing. So cool. On with the show. So round two. So we've beaten Team Wales in round one, and we've got to round two against Team Lions, who also were the other team that captained quite highly. I can't remember they built. If you listen to the Fantasy Wargaming podcast, brilliant podcast, fully recommend it. They have already produced something. So if you've listened to it, you'll know the outcome of this. But if you haven't, listen in, here's a good one. Or at least if you have listened to it, you can now hear it from my point of view. Though Paul gave a very good account of the battle, so let's just see it from my side. They've obviously got Ali Parron with Orcs and Goblins, so not only was he captain, but he's also pretty much the guru on Orcs and Goblins in the UK scene. Very nice person. All of them were very lovely. So it was going to be which nice person were you going to be playing? They've got Tony Hale with Undying Dynasties, Paul Godbold with Vampire Counts, who I ended up playing, and Tom Clues, who's playing Warriors of the Dark Gods. One thing to say about all of them is, yes, they're not in the England side, but they are all of that sort of caliber. So again, Spiky Club playing another high caliber team, which was good. Like, it's pretty exciting. Yeah. What we did was we looked at it and I said, I'm not sure about Orcs and Goblins. I kept saying Ogres and Goblins all weekend. It's carried on over. Um, and I didn't want to play UD. I was quite happy to play Warriors of the Dark Gods, but the only thing about it was it had a double Feldrak Ancestors, so my dragon was going to be pretty limited. But the one I was like, look, I can play one of those two. I think I can mitigate the results of the VC. I've got enough flaming to deal with the ghasts, so I was pretty happy with that, and that's why. So that's how we got paired up. In this battle, it was breakthrough and in circles. So big flanks, big flanks, big center. So looking at the list, so he's got a big Vanguard count on Mastery Vacation. So I was going to have to be pretty clever with my wizards. I didn't want to keep them in range of that because that could get pretty bad pretty early. Um, He's got a Vampire Courtier with Cosmology. So again, Ice and Fire was coming at me, and I wanted to keep my small scoring units away from this. But at the same time, I'm like, yep, 4+ save. On average, he'll kill one, but I should be able to get that other second one in. So I've just got to work out how to keep them away. I've got a unit of 40 ghouls. Sorry, he's got a unit of 40 ghouls. So I was pretty like, I don't like ghouls. They're hard to go through for me. It's not impossible, but just that poison and what is it called, where they re-roll after the first round of combat because they've killed a wound or something. He's got a big unit of skeletons where I thought his vampire counts would go in. A big unit of zombies for scoring and bunkering. Well, scoring in this case. 8 Ghast for the champion, 2 Great Bats for the chaff, 8 Vampire Spawners, 6 Vampire Knights. I think out of this battle, the only ones that really bugged me was the Mastery Vacation because I didn't want to snipe my wizards. The ghouls, because there's just lots of bodies. Oh, and the Banshee. I forgot about the Banshee. I hate Banshees. Everyone remembers what happened with Jack Austin. I still hate Banshees. Ah, they're so good against the elves, specifically Sylvan elves. Um, and the vampire spawn because they're very mobile and they're very hitty. So that was kind of where I was thinking with that one. So, but otherwise, I was pretty happy with the rest of the army. I thought I actually had an advantage in terms of scoring because I thought I could get more. I was more maneuverable. Yes, I had my archers and my dryads, but actually I was pretty happy with that. So I picked out the bits that I really was worried about. I'd forgotten about the banshee, which was a real big error, and therefore we picked spells. So I dropped Master of Earth this round because I didn't. Looking at the map, it didn't look that great. And I chose Forest Embrace just because there wasn't that many forests and they were all in the centre. I just wanted to give my Blade Dancers a bit of opportunity to move around. Um, I then took Altered Sight over Ice and Fire because he's just going to keep regrowing stuff. I thought there's not some small stuff to go and get after. I wanted Altered Sight just to give me some of those buffs in combat. He took double Arise and then Dead Arise. He's got both snipes. He's taken Perception of Strength and Ice and Fire and the reroll to hit and reroll to wound. So a really good magic phase. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to stop all of it, but only 2 Arises, so there is an opportunity here. Plan. My plan was to use the mobility score objective, hold the archers and Drides, hold the archers and Drides out of combat to score. So the plan was to just put them at the flank. This would mean my magic would kind of have to go with them, so it was going to be a bit dodgy in the centre, and then use monsters to skill the coring units in the centre. That was the plan. So then we go on to the map. So in this map, we've got a hill this side. That's the forest I placed. We had another forest over there, a water feature, a ruins, an impassable, and another ruins on this side. Did we treat that as ruins or trees? I cannot remember. No, field. Field. We treated that as field. So that's why I've looked. You see it, I can put it in the center, but actually he's not got a lot of units that I want to go after. So you can see what happened here is we started dropping each. So what did I want to do? I wanted him to make him think that I was going on this side. So I dropped my Heath Riders down on this side. He counter deployed with, I think it was his zombies or something, or Forest Knights, or something, giant bats maybe. No, he didn't play giant bats. Oh sorry, there is ghouls, there is zombies. I then placed my other Heath Riders, so I didn't give anything away. I then placed my giant because I was like, okay, I can place him on this side. I was pretty happy with that. And then I can't remember after that. But in essence, we've got his vampire spawn. I think he thought these were more dangerous than just basic Heath Rider scoring with the zombies, the ghouls, with his Banshee and this at this time, but I think he does switch over. Banshee, 2 vampire in the skeleton block. He's got the gas with the vampire bats behind him and the vampire knights on this side. I was pretty happy with this because I'd managed to get my Dryads and my Archers over here. I'd got my Tree Father and Dragon over this side to basically zone in this area, so I can at least get 2 scoring units. And then the plan was just basically to run these 2 all the way around here, whilst trying to block and kill as many stuff as possible. See if I could get the zombies, and see if I could get between these 2 get the gas. Because I was like 2 flaming weapons, brilliant. So I thought that was okay. VC turn 1. Oh, hang on. I've got this wrong way around. I think we played an extra VC turn, maybe. So VC was turn 1, was it? I think we played turn 7 of the vampire counts then. Right, we'll go through it. I think Paul and I played 7 turns. Okay, well, that just and we finished early, so that just shows how quick and well we both did. So well done to us. Yeah, so Vampire Counts turned up. So you can see his gas have moved up in the centre, JT dominating, and he's moved into that water feature. He's put the Vampire Knights to this flank, and he thinks, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm like, fine, I may not kill you, but you're gonna have to spend some time healing those Vampire Knights, and I'm already starting to push you back. So that gap for the Dryads and the Archers to move through is pretty there. So I'm gonna start moving them up. He's got skeletons coming up center, so I was like, yep, fine. And then he's got both the ghouls and zombies coming up with the great bats and the vampire spawn over there. So nothing bad, nothing untoward. He managed to get Haste in the Hour off. I let him get one of them off or something, but he got 1 wound off on the giant. No issue. Silvernell's turn 1. So you can see my Heath Riders are moving out to the flank. My Blade Dancers have come across to here and the Giant there. I'm now starting to zone the Ghasts, thinking, yep, this is all good. I'm going to go into them and kill them quickly and hopefully I can get into there. Giants come more centre. Basically, I'm just trying to distract him. I didn't really have a plan for the Giant. I actually think what I should have done is moved him out to the hill to basically threaten these zombies, but I didn't want to get them charging in the flank and the zombies in the front. It wouldn't have worked that well. So I need to keep him back yet. Otherwise, I've moved the Tree Father back here to cover this flank here. Now, this is probably my first mistake. I think, because I wanted to move the Tree Father back into this way, actually, what I should have done was advance with the Tree Father up to here to force this flank a bit more, because I wouldn't have moved him into the Vampire Count's range, into the Knight's range, but it could have at least, because this is ruins, I could have gone this way. So that was my first mistake. I should have been more aggressive up here rather than coming back. Anyway, in Magic, I managed to get Awaken the Beast off on there just in case he wanted to charge, so I chopped through them, and that was it. I managed to take a Vampire Knight off as well, which I think did shock him. So yeah, woo, go Pathfinders. VC turn 2. What he's done is he's moved the gas to face them, face the giant and the Blade Dancers, so they're both in the front. He's moved the skeletons round because he's going to start pressuring me on that side. And he's moved the ghouls and the zombies up. So I've got a lot of charges for next turn. You also start to see he's running away with the Vampire Knights at the back here because he's realised that he doesn't want to go for the Pathfinders. And actually, he can move around there and score, while the Vampire Spawn unscoring can start mucking around here because they're quite mobile. So that was a good one. In terms of shooting, so here it is. This is Ice and Fire. This is Ice and Fire taking off one of my units in one turn, which it rolled abnormally high. It's possible. I didn't expect all of them to go in one turn, which is not good. So maybe I should have left them behind the hill just to hold everything up a bit. But in essence, that's one of my Heath Riders gone. So one of my scoring gone. So I'm losing this, not proper losing, but sort of losing one of my scoring units to do. So I should have just left them on the left. He's also put another couple of wounds on the giant because I tried to stop Ice and Fire using all my dice and I failed. I think that was with Crystal Ball as well, I'd like to point out. So I utterly screwed that one up. So, I did the right thing. Dice didn't work out. I think it's the best turn. So you see it here, and that's it. Right. I'm just going to talk through this now. So I charged the giant in there. The Blade Dancers, I tried to charge as well, but they failed. And I'm very glad they failed. Up to this point, and Paul and I, in fairness, had talked about this as a water feature. Paul had made us very clear on it, so this is me. We got all the way through to combat, and those eagle-eyed of you with my cleansing light will now realise, but I hadn't at this point, that it's bugger all use against some fortitude when I'm in a water feature, or in heat in a water feature, because it turns off flaming attacks. I hadn't realised by this point. I do now, and I do in a few minutes. So I moved the giant up in sense. So the giant moving up here is actually to flank. So this is, and this was also compounding because I wouldn't have moved the giant there if I thought this was going to happen. If I knew that was water feature, because I thought, okay, I won't go through in one turn, but I could go in through in two, so I need to use something as a chaff. I've got the Tree Father coming in, I've got the archers coming up to start plinking at stuff. I've got the Dryads moving around, so all's going well. The Pathfinder's being aggressive, going to shoot at them. Heath Hunters are now moving around a bit more, so they're 18. I thought he was going to have to charge. He wouldn't get Ice and Fire off, so yeah, no, I've got this unit to go all the way around, and I've got enough maneuverability if I can win this to take his scoring out and win the objective. So that's it. Magic, I put it all on. Okay, so I don't know where I put magic. It wasn't a great phase, but I got some stuff. Oh no, I got some heal spells off on the giant. Right. Here it is. And at this point, I went, rolled, all hit. Yep, cool. Wounded like 3 times. I went, right, that's a gas off. And he went, no, water feature. And I went, oh. And if you look back at this photo, I did this. I didn't say it, but in my head, I looked at my beer cup, which was probably my second by this point. We'd had a pint at lunch in sort of celebration. I had a second one, and I looked at it and thought, "This is your fault. This is why you don't drink if you want to do sensible decisions." Um, so I managed to get quite a few wounds off with the giant, with the dragon and everything. So I managed to get 4 wounds off, uh, for one in return. So that was my turn. Um, I realised this is not going well now. Um, I had a bit of a problem because I brought everything in the centre in the hope that yes, I wouldn't be able to go through it this turn, but at least I could probably go through them next turn or even in my turn 4. But I was now in trouble. VC turn 3. So this is where VC turn 2. So this is So this is Silvernail's turn 2. This is where I got it right. Yeah. Okay. So we're back on track. We didn't play an extra turn. Sorry. So VC turn 3. I just can't do my counting correctly. So VC turn 3. He didn't charge anyone else, but he did pop out the Banshee. Here. Did a sweeping attack. Kill one of my Blade Dancers. Cheers, Banshee. I hate you. Otherwise, he's moved everything else around, looking into the centre. And this is just he knows I'm not going to be able to break him up, and he knows it's a grind now with his ghasts. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I do fairly little attack. What I'm hoping for here on this turn is that my dragon breaks, because if my dragon breaks, it can get behind the Tree Father. So even and I can countercharge. I can do something about this because if he doesn't break, if he holds, I'm in trouble. VC turn 3, he kills a few more with the Banshee Scream. Great. Yeah, here. I also tried to stop Ice and Fire again. Oh no, it was next turn. Next turn. Because I get them round. So turn 4, I've got them round there. You see where this is going. So turn 4, importantly, my dragon did not break and he took 4 wounds. And he did a few more wounds, so I've managed to kill a few more of them off. But it's not great. And I had a choice here about charging everything in, like Blade Dancers, everything. And I decided against it because if I got stuck on it, that was it, game over. And there was no guarantee in that auto feature I was going to kill all those ghasts. So maybe. So I think it was also this. So I wouldn't be able to get my Blade Dancers in because the giant was in the way. Great. Good work, James, last turn. I could get my Tree Father in, but I just think that would stick him there and not really do anything. And just add combat res. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I could have done something about it, but it wasn't working out. So I decided to do this and move everyone back. You can see on his last turn, he's also moved the knights turned around, and I've got 2 things zoning this way. So my thought process is I'm going to buff the dryads. I'm still going to keep them there because I want to get them get them in there, but I'm going to buff them to strength 5. We saw what they do against the sloth knights, so I don't think he's going to want to go into them. I've moved the giant across out of Ark of the Ghouls, and this is to block the zombies. So now I can go into the zombies and stop them. So he's got a scoring unit stop there that hopefully I can keep away from my objective, and he's got these 2 here, and I've got my Tree Father and Blade Dancers. Hopefully, this is my plan that I can do something about. I can kill the zombies with that. I can Blade Dancers in this. I can deal with this somehow. Unsure what to do here, and the Dryads are going to go in there. Now I could have thrown absolute world at healing the dragon, but I still don't think it would have worked because he's a character. He's only going to get 1 wound, 1 hit point. So I thought the best way was actually just buff the Dryads this round. Let's see what happens. I didn't think charging him was a good idea either. There was a moment where I thought about charging the Dryads and the Giant into it. And the reason I didn't into the skeletons, because again, I'd just get stuck on them. I wouldn't be able to kill them. And the Tree Father was too far away. So if the Tree Father could go in through into the ghouls, then maybe. But I just thought it was a bad idea. And Paul, I think, knew that as well. I think he'd win that grind because also he's probably going to kill my dragon and then just the ghast come in and just mow me down. So I could either get killed by piecemeal or just accept the dragon's gone. In shooting, so there were 5 there. There's now 3. So the Pathfinders went mental on the Vampire Knights. It was really good. And I got Perception of Strength off and Awaken the Beast because he stopped the heal spell on the dragon. So I strength 6 Dryads. So I was like, yeah, you're not coming into them, especially now. In combat, yeah, poor dragon. I'm sorry. That was definitely my fault. not yours. I did also try and shoot the Banshee with all my archers, and my Tree Father did nothing. Couldn't do anything. Get past the 3+, so that was annoying. So in his turn, he did not charge anyone, but he did do a sweeping attack with his Banshee again, killed another Blade Dancers. Ooh. Oh no, he didn't kill them this time, but he was going to scream at me. He turned around the ghouls, you can see in the center. So what he's thinking here, I think, is he's trying to get the ghouls in here. And basically, so if the ghouls go in there, the zombies can go in, and the ghouls probably munch through there and then get into the objective. So he's got 2 in there, beats my 1. My archers probably aren't going to get there now because of the ghasts. He's brought the Vampire Spawn in here because now it's really dangerous and you can start going after them. And the Vampire Knights can come round and start doing stuff here as well. So I'm really up against it at the moment. Yeah, this is the Ice and Fire. So let's go through this. That was the number of hits. Yeah, either way. I can't remember. Yeah, I think those are the dice I've stopped. No, maybe. Either way, I lost badly. And I lost my second unit of Heath Riders, which is really bad because now I don't have that mobile scoring because that was my opportunity. If they'd got round there, I had enough time to get the Dryads and them in and just sacrifice the archers, and I'd have 2 scoring units. And now I've really only got the opportunity of getting 1 in. Ooh, it's awkward. So I realised I had to do a bit of a Hail Mary here. I needed to decide that the objective was the most important. So what I didn't do was charge the Dryads into the gas because I thought actually that's going to end one way, especially with the Vampire Spawn behind. I moved the archers back just to give it a worse charge, and what I did was charge the Blade Dancers, who'd taken a hammering, as you can see from the Banshee, and the Tree Father into there. And my theory was if I could overrun long enough, I can block these 2 up here. That was what I was going for. The plan was to block these 2, get past the Vampire Spawn, block them, because I've gone for it, I've charged the Giant in there. This is the plan. So the Giant's going to hold them up, try and kill them, because he needs to kill them to get them out of my deployment zone. I've got these round in his deployment zone now, so it's game on. Well, I'm trying to make it as game on as possible. In Magic, I do manage to get a few Blade Dancers back, so I managed to get a healing spell off. That was important. And I just went through the bats, obviously, and my overruns were both perfect. Like, Tree Father, yeah, I didn't get there, but look at the Blade Dancers. Yes, that is it. So they're pretty much in a wood. And, yeah, the ghouls can come in, but, like, yeah, what do you want to do? I'll do 3+ Aegis. I'll have a good time. So he can't charge in me now. In my turn, I take another wound, but I didn't take as many off as I thought I would, but I've crumbled a few. So it's starting to go down on the zombies. I've got another couple of turns, so we're okay. In his turn 5, this is quite scary. I was like, that's not going to end well. I'm not sure even how to deal with that. That's quite scary. Oh, last turn. This is something I did do. I threw my Shamanism Wizard out in front of here to basically hold them up, and basically they've got to charge them rather than turn around into the Dryads. So that was my theory there. I've got my Vampire Spawn there, so I'm going to have to bail out my Wizards and move my Archers back. I had to think about it. There was nothing I could do because the Archers are actually where those markers are. There's pretty much nothing to do. I can't even move back 2.5 inches to shoot and stand and shoot. It's just too far away, too close. So yeah, this is pretty gutsy. He doesn't charge them in. I was like, why is he not charging them in? And then he moved the Banshee up, and I went, great. Now I know why. So, so poor Blade Dancers. I hate Banshees. I so hate Banshees. In combat, he killed my Shamanism Wizard, and then turned to face the Dryads. And he also absolutely went to town on my Tree Father. I did not get to strike. He got reroll to hits, reroll to wounds or something. I was protecting something, but I just could not stop anything in Magic. And yeah, and between a load of other stuff, it just meant I don't even think his skeletons had to do anything. I just couldn't save anything, and the Tree Father died. So that was that. Unfortunately, I've now got some skeletons, but I don't think they have enough time to get to the objective because this is turn 5. So turn 6, he can't just smash onto it. So that's really good. So that's one. So that's worked. I think I've stopped the ghouls, but the gas is still it. So I've got my Dryads there. So I choose not to charge my Dryads, but I do charge with my... Why did I charge with them? I can't remember. I think I got a little bit tired and went, yeah, I'll just charge with them. So I charged my Blade Dancers in because I thought they're safer there than out of combat. But maybe I should have just thrown in. I did manage to raise 4 of them. I wasn't in range for any of the strength buffs, but I was throwing lots of spells at the other one. He stopped Stone Skin on my Giant because I knew what was coming in next with the Vampire Clans turn 6. But what you can see in the last down is this. This is important. Look at the Giant went to town on the zombies, and the Giant just, what a guy, just absolutely went to town. What a girl, she just absolutely tore them apart, which is important. In this combat, I get all 4 that I raised killed, which was useful because it means I've still got a unit there, and I win combat against the ghouls, but it's probably not going to survive next turn. I've got my Pathfinders round. I think I managed to, yeah, I got the Pathfinders round, and they managed to kill another knight, which is why there's not 4 of them, which will be important later. But look at that, I've killed all bar 2 zombies again. So as long as those knights don't kill me, I've got a shot here. I mean, this is interesting. In Vampire's turn 6, the final turn, he doesn't charge into my Dryads because I put a strength buff and some other bits on them. So, and the so I think if he goes into Dryads, I think there's a real danger he loses. He does go into the Vampire Spawn. The Vampire Spawn do go into the Archers last turn, and I let him have the unit. I don't even get him to roll because I was like, this just isn't happening. The amount of attacks he has, and he's hitting on such a low amount. He does go into the Giant. So this is the combat that actually matters. So he tries to do a load of buffs on him. I just, the magic phase, my dispelling was on fire and his rolling was not. So, but he does get a few of them back. So he's got 4 of them attacking. That's how many wounds I've got left, 5. So he only needs to do 5 wounds. He's got 4, 8, 12, 15 attacks. That's his to hit roll. And because of the dance I took and some other bits, he was hitting on 4s. Because I went to offensive, defensive 5. That was the dance I took, which was a great move. So not only that, I then swing back. Oh, so you know that. I'm a Blade Dancer dies. Look at this. So my Blade Dancer BSB, everyone dies there. So, whoops. Yeah, this is the important bit. Look, he's alive on 2 wounds. It's amazing. So he's alive on 2 wounds. He gets to strike back against them, which I do, and I think he kills a knight. And then well, actually no, I think I just went on them and just went, look, I need to hit them. No, I don't know, but I think I won or drew. No, I drew combat. No, I won. I won by 1. So I killed 2 wounds there, and then I went sideways and killed them with thunderstorms. So I think we drew because he got 3 wounds and a charge and a banner 5. Oh yeah, because we did it before. I think we did it before the BSB. Yeah, we did it before the BSB. No, I won combat. It was weird. Let's just put it down to that. Either way, I won objective, which was the crowning bit of that game because when I charged my dragon in, I screwed up badly, and then the Banshee was just and yeah. So I'm shocked. I've managed to get a 7. That's not where his dog was. That's Vampire Council. I've just realised. But look how much he's killed of mine. And then we go to my scores. I got some zombies and great bats. There's 36 zombies, but they're still only worth 200 points. So he massively beat me, but I won objective, which meant I got a 7 and he got a 13. So I was actually like, actually, this is a pretty good result. I'm pretty happy. I mean, imagine what could have happened if that water feature had not been there. I think Paul would have played it differently. So we'd have probably ended up with the same score. But I was pretty happy with that. Playing VC with Silver Knives and getting a 713. Boom. I mean, the lesson. So I thought my objective play was sound. I thought I was slightly unlucky on 2 ice and fires to kill both my scoring units. But as it happened, meh. I thought my tactics and matchups were good, apart from the dragon. I thought I played it in the right way. All I needed to do was continue zoning him because I think between my healing, I can stand there and take his spells because I either stop ice and fire, which I probably stop because he doesn't want to go into blade dancer buffs, or I stop the snipes. And I think that works, and he's got to come forward. So I think that. So my real big thing is look for water features when you have flaming breaths. That's my advice. But yeah, so there you go. Sorry, those are the round two sites. So I was like, oh, I've only got 7. I went down to Ben. He went, don't worry, I've only got 1. So I did okay. I was pretty happy with that. I brought it home. Unfortunately, we got outplayed across the board pretty much, apart from Antoine, who was doing really well and got us a victory. We did still get capped, 24-56, but that goes up to a 30, so we capped the team and got capped. So we're doing okay. We're 50. We're split even, so that's pretty good actually going to our third game. So we're pretty happy with that. It was on table 1 as well, so like Spiky Club playing on table 1 is pretty cool. Yeah, so no, Team Lions are also a fantastically nice team. Yeah, I thoroughly recommend listening to Fantasy Wargaming podcast, and yeah, I won't spoil the rest of it. Here's my hobby corner. This is my first of my eagles. You'll notice it's an owl, but I'm pretty happy with this. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to painting the rest of them, apart from the feathers. This army, I feel like Bird Brain with this army. Too many feathers being painted, but I really like the model, especially the toadstools. I think, even though I know toadstools and probably not that wintry, but I want to do something colourful, so I really like that. All right. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a remainder of a good weekend.